look at this. This is beautifully shipped. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Cards with Sean here. I just got done filming the April card opening video. I'm not sure which one's going to go up first, either that one or this one. But today, I want to share this with you. I've been meaning to do this a few times by now, and I just keep either forgetting or putting it off or whatever else. Let me go grab some like scissors to open this up or a knife. But I really want to show you what's inside here. All right, I'm sure there were easier ways to go about that, but I didn't want to leak all my information. Well, it seems like it was just easier to take that label off. And here we are. Look at this. This is beautifully shipped. Not really too much room for movement. All the cards look to be in really good shape. So I paid a total of, what was it? I think it was like $160 for this lot. Now, the reason why this was an absolute steal is because there's 3 cards in here that, like, I basically valued them way lower than they were actually worth. So let's go over this. I'll put up stuff here, but I came to a total of $210. But I'll tell you why I could make more money than this. Starting off, bang! Look at this. You can already see in the background. We got Honeycomb Marvin Harrison Jr. Okay. On average, I think each of these cards is about $20 or $30. So when you go to, what is it? I think there should be 8 cards in here total. Let's say 8 times 20 is already, what is that? That's 160. So we're already there, but we also have to take into account that we're selling on eBay and we're losing, let's just say 15% for fees. So we want to make a little bit more than that. Now, obviously, some cards are worth a little more. I think most of these were close to that 30 range. I even saw, I think there were some 33s in here. But anyways, it all just depends. Brees Hall Zebra. So that's the case hit out of, I forgot, do people, geez, I just totally dropped that. I can't remember. Yeah, no, it's the Genesis. That's super short print. But Honeycomb is a case hit for Mosaic. So we're already at two for 2 case hits. Zebra for Select. Look at this bad thing. This, I love this. I thought this just looked cool because it was not only an autograph by Darrelle Revis, which I don't think you see every day, except for the fact that this was last year's product, so he must sign somewhat. But this up here, oh, it's really hard to see. I almost missed it when I was paying for it. Out of 5. An autograph out of 5. It's 3 out of 5. That's pretty insane right there. So, I mean, that already makes it, that adds the value, but I think I did have a comp out of 5 when I added it up. So there's 3 of the 8 right here. Now, let's move this out of the way. Get on to slabs in the slot. Typically, it's a really bad idea. Maybe not so much for lots, but buying slabs as singles because you're almost never going to win on that deal. Slabs are pretty much at a firm price. Like this card right here. Let's use, can we use Drew Brees as a little, okay. Sorry, what I was getting at with my little rant here though. So say this one was actually really hard to find because it made it look like this was given out. I don't know what NSCC stands for, and I don't know if that has anything to do with what I'm about to say, but when I looked this card up, it almost seems like it was given out at the National. From my understanding, it seems like it came in these, oh, it's out of $199. Maybe I didn't know that. I don't know. But it almost seemed like it was given out at the National. Someone would have pulled this in a pack and then decided to get it graded. NSCC. I could understand National, maybe like Sports Card Convention. I could be onto something. This, I'm kind of confused though. This says VIP Gold. So this is kind of like a red ice, but I do kind of see the ice kind of looks like it's got maybe like hints of gold in it. So oh no, red sparkle. That's where they call it sparkle. This doesn't even look like I don't know. Anyways, whatever. PSA 10. This one was really hard to find comps for, but the good thing is it is a PSA 10, so it's in perfect condition. And, you know, maybe that makes it even worth a little more value. Obviously, he's not a rookie in this or anything, but he is one of the bigger names in the league. He's not the top guy by any means. Sorry, I just totally kicked my tripod. But, you know, if this was only given out at the National and then there's also a PSA 10 added to that, like, demand could be there. Okay. Up next here, we have another perfect PSA 10 Bryce Young. So yeah, this would normally be really hard to move if I was just buying this as a single, because you can just look up, oh, what has Bryce Young introductions, and this is, from my understanding, this should be a insert from Mosaic of his rookie year, but in perfect condition. So if it was a PSA 9, it'd probably be worth nothing. But I think because it is a 10, and it's numbered out of 99. Rookie quarterback, PSA 10, can't really beat it. It would be nice if it wasn't an insert, but we'll take it. It's numbered and it's PSA 10. So I think these two, I mean, like I said, this one, there might be a demand for it to go higher, but I think I valued most of these cards at like $30-$33, somewhere in the mid to like low 20s, but for the most part, okay? Now here, this is where I think I made my money at with this lot. And the worst case scenario is I comp them all as raw. So that's like the big, if you can do that, I mean, that's crazy. The reason I did this though is because they're graded by, what is it, SGC? I don't know, my grading company's not well besides PS. Yeah, SGC, okay. These three cards are SGC slabs. Look at that. We're going to get another honeycomb, 10. There was like, I don't use Card Ladder. I use Market Movers app and one other one I can't think of the name of off the top of my, I don't know, sports card. I can't remember. But anyways, I couldn't find any comps for any of these in SGC form, which if I'm comping these as raw, that got me to about $210 of total value for all of these. Now, these ones, like I said before, these seem to have more like exact values. PSA is a lot easier to track because it's the most popular company. That's what most people end up choosing for their grading service. So like all these cards you're about to see, $20 to $30 is what I have them valued at. But when you get a 10 like this, it's not the same as a PSA 10, but it's going to add value to that. So we have a lot of upside on this one, I think. Never heard of this guy. Don't even know how to pronounce his name, but it's a honeycomb, so it's a case hit, and it's a 10. Bilal, I won't even try the last name. So just think about that, okay? Up next, these next two aren't probably as heavy hitters, I don't think. I think this one, the Bijan, I think was probably like even compared to the raw ones, I think this was worth the least amount of money. And you'll see why compared to the next one. But Prism, it's not his rookie year for Bijan. 9.5, it's not a 10, so I don't know. I think these cards raw were only going for like $7 to $10 maybe on average, and then you add in a 9.5 right there. Yeah, hard to say. Maybe squeeze out a little bit extra. Yeah, I don't know. But here we go. So when you compare these side to side, these are both 2024 Prism. This, I believe, the red and black checker. These are a lot more rare. And this is another 9.5. So think about this. These are raw, and now all three of these we have in 9.5 or 10. So, yeah, I don't know. I think I feel really good about this. Like I said, I valued the total of all 8 of these cards at about $210. So the way I do my math is I say, okay, what is the total value of the lot? So for this one, it would be, I said 210 was what the number I came up with. And I try to use 2 to 3 different comping services to get the most accurate one. Maybe even some sold listings on eBay, probably for a card like this, where honestly it wasn't even in their system if I remember right, because they're like, it's not really like a true Panini product set that it came out of. It's just something they made for the National, from my understanding. I could be wrong. So 8 cards right here. How I value it, or how I do it, is I got to the number 210, which keeps getting 210 because that's realistically what I did. Then I take off 15% eBay charges. I think it's 13.25%. I know I sound like a nerd saying that, but when you've been selling for almost a year now, you kind of memorize it. And then you also have to think there's shipping costs, more so on the buyer's end, but sometimes, who knows? I've had orders have to be refunded or partially refunded in the past, and you just have to account for those things. So let's just say 15%. Let's say on one of these cards, it typically goes for, this is another common thing, say it typically goes for under $20. I mark the shipping as $132 for the eBay standard envelope, which gets you up to $20. Now, for all of these, that's not going to happen because they're already, I don't know. I don't really like shipping mags as much because I heard some horror stories about them breaking in the mail. But regardless, it seems like these are all worth at least over $20. Especially if it's in a slab, I'm gonna have that at ground advantage. So it's gonna cost someone $5 for shipping. But another thing that can happen, for example, probably won't for this, is I'll mark it, throw it up there for $132 shipping, and then if I have it going on bidding, it'll sometimes go over $20, and then I have to pay for that extra $3 and some change to make up to get them to that ground advantage because it went over $20. Yeah, I don't know. That's the way I understand it. I'm sure these are all things I'm learning as a new seller. Still new, even though I'm almost a year in, I'll admit it. I have a long way to go on this journey. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope this gives you some insight. It's not always ideal to comp your cards at raw value, but in this thing I had no choice. It's pretty unlikely that that's possible. But with some of these, take that into account though, some of these more lesser known, SGC is a known company, and I can't even remember, I feel like PSA owns like half the grading companies that are underneath them. So maybe SGC is one of them, maybe it's not. But it is reputable, people know about it, but it's just not, you don't pay the premium that you do like you do for PSA because it's not worth as much. So even though I have, yep, there it is. An SGC 10, if this was in a PSA 10 slab, like legit, that's the only difference. If this said PSA 10 on it versus SGC 10, this would be worth more money. And that's just how it goes. But so, like I was saying, maybe that's something for you to take advantage of. Now, I'm not going to crack this and go send it to PSA because the odds that it gets a 10 from PSA, I feel like they're a little more strict on their stuff than some of these other grading companies, which is what raises up their value, and there's a whole bunch of other reasons that their values are higher. It would be nice if it always worked out that way, but there is always, it's human error, so there's always a chance I could send it and PSA grader thinks that, oh, I saw something that the SGC grader missed, it's a 9. And now I'm probably losing more money than if I had just sold it as this, at a 9. So it doesn't really make sense for me to, plus they keep upping their grading fees. It's like $33 a card or something. It's crazy for one card right now. So it's just not even worth it. If there's a ton of upside, like, yeah, then I would do it, but it's already in a slab. There's no need to crack in this one, but I keep getting sidetracked. I'm sorry. If you do see lots with lesser known grading companies, I'd probably stick to maybe like SGC and CGC. I do really agree with a lot of people. The look of tag slabs looks very clean, and I wish it would pick up in demand more, but it's kind of at the bottom of that. And then Beckett, like, I don't know, I don't really mind Beckett. I don't like it as much as probably an SGC. It's been around for a long time. I think it's really good for like vintage cards, but I wouldn't go to Beckett right now, and that would not be even my second choice outside of PSA. So I don't know if you have the chance to, and you find a lot with, but people know the brands, so they trust them enough. You're just not going to quite see the values. So if you could like find like a lot of miscellaneous graded cards, even just a bunch of SGC slabs, Beckett slabs, all those different ones, and these are like 9s and 10s you're rolling with, if you get a good deal on it, that could actually be a cool way to go, is just by selling slabs that aren't through PSA, because maybe not as many people know what the value is or what it sells for. Just those cards aren't going to be selling as much in those slabs because everyone knows that they can maximize their upside on grading through PSA. So once again, we'll end up seeing how I do on the slab. Maybe I'll post an update video, but this will be it for this video. 8 cards in total. I feel really good about it. Thanks for watching. Peace out.